Welcome to the first edition of the Reds Relay Podcast. I am your host, Brendan Hostler, here with
co-host Matt Fry.
Matt Fry is here, as well as behind the scenes, we have Jake Sanders. Say hello, Jake.
Hello, hello.
Doing all the heavy lifting for us. A big round of applause for Jake Sanders. As well as Luke Legault is our social media personnel. So thank you for that, Luke. We're going to go ahead and get started on this journey of this podcast. And, this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I know, me and Matt being big Reds fans, there's nothing better to talk about than Reds baseball. So, most of the show is going to be obviously talking Reds baseball, talking about, the different game outcomes, a lot of opinionated discussion. We're going to try to put out an episode every other week. I think that's kind of the plan right now.
Yeah, just game outcomes, and then we'll throw in a little game, some trivia, baseball reference, Sporkle quizzes.
So yeah, we're just gonna have some fun. I'm really excited, especially even just to get it started, and I know Jake's excited too. How we feel about this, Jake? We ready to go?
It's a big step. I'm excited.
All right, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So, at the moment we're recording this video, the Reds are playing the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's not going very well. Hunter Green's kind of having a rough start.
Yeah, he's thrown a lot of pitches, as that's a common thing for Hunter Green, down 5-0 to the Brewers. Cannot seem to beat the Brew Crew.
Yeah, so kind of a rough night. So we're going to kind of move on from that game. Not going to talk a lot about it, but we are going to talk about the Brewers series. That's kind of the first thing we're going to get to. So game one, it's an exciting game, really. You kind of get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of, you get some defensive flair, and then obviously like Elly De La Cruz is the story of the game. I mean, he's, he changes the game in so many ways. I mean,
yeah, he made something happen on every single play. The first at bat, put a ball in play, caused an error, went to second, stole third, and ended up scoring. And then later gets 2 bombs.
Yeah, he is without a doubt. And a lot of guys will say like, oh, he's overrated, and he's the StatCast player. He's got all the big numbers, but when you really watch the game, those numbers impact the game, and they impact how the other team plays.
Yeah.
And so to me, he wins them that game because Rhys Hoskins makes 3 errors at first base because he's busting it down the line.
Yeah, he needs to do a lot of that for Reds to win games. I mean, he's their star player, drafted when he made his debut, the most electric player we've probably ever had so far. So if he reaches his full capability and what his potential, they can be really good.
Yeah, and I think some other positives on that game. Obviously it's easy to talk about Elly with the 2 homers, the inside the Parker. I thought Fairchild played a good game.
Yeah.
A couple walks. He makes that leaping catch, in right field, and
saves a few runs.
Yeah, so I think he's done his job, and he's kind of a guy that, in the past I've kind of harped on and kind of been negative towards, but I think he
just goes in and does the job.
He's found his role, and I think that's the biggest thing. He's done a nice job, especially when we're kind of shorthanded in the outfield with right-handed bats.
Yeah, that's huge.
And another thing too, and I actually was at the game. Graham Ashcraft, I thought, threw a good game.
Yeah, it's just a couple little hits here and there.
Yeah, I mean, really just getting he had a backside double and a couple ground balls.
His
to the right
stuff was
side.
Definitely there, throwing pretty hard.
Yeah,
the nasty cutter.
Yeah, the stuff was there, and I think it always has been for Graham. It's just about being efficient and staying out of those big innings, man. When he bleeds hard.
Yeah, he's for sure to get you 3 or 4 quality innings, and then towards the 5th, he just starts struggling and losing it out there.
Yeah, so those are a couple positive. I think he threw well, even though he gave up, I think it was 6 runs over 5 2/3, I think, something like that. But I thought he threw the ball way better than what the numbers show, and that's it seems like with this Reds pitching staff, that's kind of how it goes. They're so young, and they make 2 or 3 mistakes throughout the game, and they just seem to get hit out of the ballpark, or it's weak contact that finds holes, and those are a couple positives. I think. The negatives, I think the big question right now is whether or not this middle of the lineup's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked a lot about Candelario.
Candelario signing. Yeah. I was skeptical at the beginning when they even signed him. Obviously scarred from the Mike Moustakas big contract, throwing big money at a veteran third base DH kind of guy, and he's just not producing. But switch hitting, plays a really good third base, has a good glove. He's got all the tools to be good, and we need him to start hitting to help us win.
And I would agree with that. He's a professional. He's gonna have an approach to the plate. He's gonna figure it out. The guy I am very worried about is Encarnacion Strand, because he, to me, looks like he doesn't want to be on the field right now.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been shaky. Stats are not there. Average is really bad. But the last couple of games, he's putting the ball in play really hard, and all you need is a couple of those balls to go through and just see a couple hits.
Yeah, the talent's there. I mean, with most of these guys, the talent's there. It's just whether or not they can put it together day in and day out.
He's capable of 25, 30 home runs a year, as well as Candelario. He could hit 50 doubles a year for us.
Right. Yeah. So those are a couple things about the games, and then obviously last night, it's 9-5. I really thought they had a chance in the ninth inning. And to me, I think the way they handled that ninth inning was, you get your first couple guys on base, and then, you get to India walks, top of the order. And then, you go strikeout and they get the wild pitch.
Yeah, at that point, the pressure is on Milwaukee there to throw a strike, and you're just daring that kid to throw one. You don't give him anything.
And he's been known to be a guy he can be effectively wild. And I think that's kind of what bit the Reds last night. And I was kind of just, I'm yelling at the TV, like, don't swing the bat, because he's bouncing sliders. And then CES, him and Candelario both punch out, and
Benson punched out that inning.
So that was frustrating, but I also think Carson Spears did a great job coming in and saving the pen.
Yeah, that's what we needed right there. Someone to just take over the game.
Yeah.
Eat some innings, get your pitch count up, save the bullpen for today. Obviously not looking good for him right now.
Yeah.
As it's 6-0.
Yeah. Wow. 6-0. Yeah. It's definitely, and with the rain delay, it just makes it not even worse. So right now, the Reds, not off to a crazy start, but not off to a bad start. They're sitting fourth place, 6-4, probably going to be 6-5 after tonight. They're 2.5 out of first as this game's going on. And the Central's not super scary. I think at top to bottom, it's decent.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, you were St. Louis. Like they're the best on paper.
They're the best on paper. They're just Nolan Arenado is not performing. The pitching staff's not there. To be honest, the Reds probably have the best pitching staff in the NL Central if we're healthy.
Yeah, I would
top
agree.
To bottom.
I would agree with that. And Milwaukee, I think the only thing that's going to make me nervous about that team is if Christian Yelich continues to do what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he's got 5 bombs on the year already. He's looking like the MVP season.
Yeah, he's playing very well. I think the Cubs, to me, are the scariest team. Pittsburgh, they were 20-8 to start the year last year. So I look at a team like that, and I think they're a lot better than they were last year. But
O'Neal Cruz stays healthy, they'll be a little bit more better. They got some pitching. They brought in Chapman.
Yeah, they've made some moves. They don't scare me, but the Reds just typically do not play well against the Central, no matter the talent level.
No.
So that that's kind of where they stand, and I'm not like super upset about where they're at. I think some of the young guys are kind of starting to really fill in, and a guy we're about to talk about actually, as we're going to change gears a little bit. The biggest positive right now is the guy that's batting 7th almost every night, and that's Spencer Steer.
MLB RBI leader with 15.
Yeah,
batting 400.
If Mookie Betts is not in the National League, Spencer Steer is the best player right now.
Agree.
He has been nothing short of spectacular, and you just look at the numbers. He's batting 400.
If you just watch his plate appearances, it's just he is ready every single pitch. He gets down an account, and he just does not go away. Puts the ball in play, does anything he can to make something happen.
He's just a good hitter, and we kind of had this discussion in the offseason, I'm a big Matt McClain guy, and obviously he's not around. TJ Friedel, I think, is one of their most valuable players. But, and I'm getting to the point where I really do agree with you. I think Spencer Steer is the most valuable piece on this team.
Agree, yes.
He
has definitely stepped up in place of our 2 arguably best hitters.
He hasn't played 2 full seasons yet in the major leagues, and he has become such a professional at bat.
And he just looks solid.
So he's been, he's been spectacular. Now, the question is, what does David Bell do?
Yeah, you could move Steer up to 3, drop those Candelario and Encarnacion Strand deep in the order. But I mean, Steer's hitting very well. It's kind of like what Benson did last year. You stuck him at 9, and everybody's like, "Oh, you move him up or down," and he just mashed at the 9 hole. It's
Yeah,
like,
and that's a great point because I actually was going to mention something about that. That's that was a big thing last year. Is like you don't want to move Benson up in the lineup because then he starts seeing tougher pitching, and he was probably the best 9 hole in all of baseball last year. So to me, I like him in the 2 hole against left-handed pitching, but I think he hits righties better. I don't know the numbers on that.
I have to see his splits. It's probably close. He just hits whoever.
But yeah, he's been nothing short of spectacular. Yeah. And there's a couple guys, a couple standouts that I think, like Steer is clearly like the leader of this club right now. But the guys like Stuart Fairchild, who I mentioned earlier, Hunter Green, having a rough outing tonight, but his first couple outings, if you look at where he ended last year, before the injuries, it's you kind of go, okay, like he's made that extra step with the pitches. He's got the splitter, he's got the curveball, he's got, he's starting to locate a little bit better. Tonight's kind of been a weird night.
Yeah.
They had the really long rain delay, so you kind of chalk up that start and just, it's a weird outing. And I still think, and I think this was the best signing of the offseason, Frankie Montas has been spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he was a Cy Young candidate, 3 or 4 years ago in competition with another Red, Luis Castillo. And he just had some shoulder problems, and nobody knew what he was going to do. And he comes out, and he's just shoving. He's like, I don't care. Let's just shove.
And I'm glad you mentioned Luis, just because Castillo is very similar to Montas. They have – now, Montas throws the splitter, but really their best pitch is that changeup, the split.
The one that –
yeah. So, I think, being a sinker baller helps, but, him being healthy is key. I think the Yankees kind of ran him out of town too soon. He was never healthy. And it reminds me a lot of the Sonny Gray deal. Now it's a 1-year deal, but, it's very similar. We brought on Sonny Gray, what was that, 3-4 years ago, and he was left for dead in New York and really revitalized his career. And now he's one of the higher paid starting pitchers now in baseball. So, Montas has been great. Even the other night, he didn't have his best game, but if that is going to be his worst game, if those are his bad games, right, where he's giving up 3 runs and he's walking 1 guy, you're going to take that.
Yeah, he's
going to take
opening day starter for a reason. They obviously have trust in the guy, and
which I didn't agree with.
Yes,
but you said you like the Montas move. So. Okay, we're going to go ahead and I want to talk about some guys that are struggling. I want to get through this pretty quick because I don't want to be super negative. But, Candelario, CES, and Stevenson have really been some holes in this lineup, especially when we need them to hit against left-handed pitching. Stevenson's the guy where it's like, I feel like it's there, but there's something about the way he approaches his at-bats, and he kind of... I don't know what it is. It's like he tries to pull and then he's trying to go the other way, and he doesn't really stick to himself a lot.
Yeah, it's like most of his hits are not like solid really hits at this point. I mean, he rips a few doubles, gets one out every.
He had a good night the other night.
Yeah, he just maybe with I don't really know, like Melee and him splitting time is kind of hard to get in a groove.
I would agree. Yeah, and really, and I tell people this, because I've been a guy that's said, hey, Luke Maile, he's got to play more. Well, if you really look at it, if Luke Maile played the same amount of games as Tyler Stevenson, Luke Maile's probably going to bat 210. I mean, he's not a high average guy, but he's going to hit the ball in the ballpark, and he's a great throwing arms. That's why he's on this team. He's a leader. But those 3 guys, I mean, to me, they're going to figure it out. It's just, it's kind of a matter of time. And what is it? It's April 11th. Oh, yeah. April 10th, 11th. I don't even know what the day is. But, so we're early. We're not even a month into the season, so you can't really look too far into it. But that's kind of been, the downside of the Reds' year so far. But, you get this team healthy, and anything can happen with this team. And, watching last year, I think you see that, All right. So we talked a little about Reds baseball. We're going to have a little fun now. So I think Jake and Matt have some fun for me. We're going to do a little baseball reference. If you're not familiar with baseball reference, basically they're going to give me Baseball Reference is a site, and they're going to give me a player who I do not know, and I'm going to look at who they played for. It's on the screen now, I believe, and it's going to, like this one, for example, we got Cleveland, so it gives you the team, it gives you the position, and then numbers. And so basically, I'm going to look at the stat sheet, and I'm going to try to guess who our mystery player is. So I think we can go ahead and get started. Are we good over there, Jake? Are we good to go? All right.
We're all good over here.
Okay, cool. Perfect. All
Side
right.
note, if it ever says CIN, he gets this in about 10, 15
So yeah,
seconds.
the Reds definitely helps. So all right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. So we've got a 2016 debut, Rookie of the Year.
2 years with the Reds.
So he was on the 2021 team. He is a predominantly corner outfielder. He looks like he started in center. Not a crazy power guy, but his best year was definitely okay. So yeah, his best year was definitely with the Reds. I didn't even realize he batted 270 there. That 70 that year. That's pretty good. And he's with the White Sox. Wow. Okay. So I believe, and I'm about 99% sure that this is our good friend Tyler Naquin.
That is correct.
Perfect. So we're 1 for 1. All right, good start. Oh, we got another red leg.
Round
okay.
2, here we go.
We're gonna do 3 of these, and then I believe we're doing a stumper.
Sure we go.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So our next guy, another position player. Perfect. So we got a Dodger in 2015. I almost thought this was Puig for a second, but this is not Yasiel Puig.
One total game in Atlanta.
Yeah, this
during the COVID year.
So 2017 and then 2019. Wow, this is interesting. Okay, I didn't even look at his position. Okay, so he's an outfielder. Oh, you guys can't stump me with a Reds guy on the first episode. That'll be
He's
really
only been
embarrassing.
stumped once with a Reds player.
The people that around me know that this is like something that I tend to be very good at, but I'm a little bit nervous with this one. So I'm seeing right field, and man, a lot of at bats. See where I get stuck is those 2016, 2017 because they were so bad and they had so many players. But now it is coming to my head because I just saw the 30 home run season in 2017. This guy hit one of the best home runs I think I've ever watched live on television. It was against St. Louis when St. Louis this was kind of one of their prime years. And he had just come back up from AAA. And I think he might have pinch hit. I don't know if he started that game, but he came in and basically hit one of the longest home runs that I've seen in that ballpark. And walked it off. I believe it was on national TV as well. This is Scott Schebler.
That is correct. You're 2 for 2.
Awesome. Let's go. All right. Off to a good start. I kind of got nervous with that one. I didn't know if I was going to get.
I was thinking Duvall that time, and then I didn't see the All-Star. The Duvall Star.
Some of my people in this room are telling me that I guess Ellie must have went deep, so that's kind of cool.
Oh.
A little bit of he's staying hot. It's okay. 2-1 homer. All right. So they're hanging around, but
Opposite field.
Good
All
swing. Right. Okay. So we'll have to keep an eye on that game. Maybe they make a late inning comeback. They are known for being the Rally Reds, so we'll see how that goes. But all right, so our third and final guy.
We have a St. Louis Cardinal.
Second base. Okay, so 2013, started his career in St. Louis. Second base, Rookie of the Year votes, and he kind of didn't have like a crazy year. How's he? Man, that rookie class must have been weak because, 249, 20 stolen bases. Okay, can you turn a little bit? Yeah, okay. Interesting. I almost wanted to say that this is Jed Jerko, but he played for the Padres. Who played second? Oh, yeah, I know who this is. He kind of was a postseason hero a little bit there. I think he had a couple postseason home runs. Little guy, but he played pretty well against the Reds. This is Colton Wong.
I was actually thinking Colton Wong. I didn't want to sound stupid.
Yeah, Colton Wong, man. He
Would have had my first stump.
he was always a good player. he was actually one of the Cardinals that I didn't hate. I liked his game.
Yeah.
He wasn't very big, but he could get it done. So I think we're gonna move on. We got a scoreboard stumper from Twitter, and if you're a Reds fan, you know that they do this every fifth inning at Reds games. So this is always something to look forward to. So we kind of just picked one, and
Scoreboard Stumper says 5 outfielders who have won a Gold Glove award in their major league career have played for the Reds at Great American. So 5 Reds
okay.
that played at Great American have won a Gold Glove. Who are they?
All right. Well, at first I thought I went to center field, but really center, I don't think Billy ever won one.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah, because he was always robbed, I believe. Is that correct?
Billy Hamilton is not one.
Okay, yeah. So it's not Billy, which is really surprising. Now, one guy that comes to mind that, when you think Gold Glove, you don't think of this guy, but I think he has
Did
one.
Tyler Naquin win one?
He did not.
Yeah, I think the first name I'm going to throw out there for an actual guess, I think, is Jay Bruce.
He did not.
Really? See, that's interesting. So now
I would have thought maybe.
So now I'm a little bit 5 outfielders who have won a Gold Glove in their major league. Okay, so I got to think older. Did Cesar Geronimo win a Gold Glove?
No, he did not.
Ken Griffey Sr.
No.
Not a
See,
Great
this is
American. I guess.
see this is where I'm trying to. This is a tough question because in recent years we haven't had a ton of good defense. Like Sin-Soo Choo, he only played 1 year. I know he didn't win a Gold Glove. I guess my next guess would be somebody like Eric Davis.
No.
Yeah,
You have to think Great American Ballpark here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
that's
see
more
now,
recent.
yeah, okay. So that's. I'm glad you said that. Okay, so Great American Ballpark. Okay, yeah. So have played in Did Griffey Jr. win one?
He did. You're 1 for 1.
Oh, well, 1 for 8, but all right. So and there's 5, right? Okay, so Griffey Jr. did win one. I kind of thought maybe
Who
he
was
wouldn't
the
have one.
left fielder in the Bruce era?
Ludwig, but
Did
he
he-
didn't.
he didn't-
No, I don't think Chris Heisey had played enough games to win one either.
Did Drew Stubbs?
He did not.
Yeah, I didn't think that's what I'm saying. These
So it's got to be later.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw out some really crazy names.
Is
What
there
about
a recent one?
Yes, multiple. Or
what
recent.
what about Jerry Hairston?
No.
Okay, am I getting too crazy? Are they
That's-
bigger names?
Yeah, they're all pretty big names.
Really?
Did Jesse Winker?
There's
No.
one of them is debatable, but you know all 5 of these players.
Okay, so yeah, and that's the thing. They don't have a lot of good defensive. Like last year, who was in the outfield? Friedel didn't win one because he was robbed by Atlanta, the Atlanta guy, Michael Harris. Couldn't think of his name. So it's not Friedel.
Friedel didn't win one. Fraley
Wow,
didn't
this
win
is
it.
not a good showing so far.
No.
We're kind of struggling with this one. Man, recent guys, I'm thinking outfielders. I'm thinking Marlon Byrd. I'm thinking, Marlon Byrd's not winning a Gold Glove.
What years?
I'll give you one hint, and that is that the last 4 players are not known for being red legs.
Okay, that kind
And
of.
they won with the Reds?
And they
No,
had.
they just won a Gold Glove at some point
Oh.
and played in Great American.
Oh. Okay,
Oh,
well,
I'm-
okay. So see, now I'm reading. Now I'm a little bit upset that we did this question because now I'm reading it
Yeah, we
wrong.
might.
So, but that still kind of is a little bit confusing because, man, I don't. Oh my gosh. We got Renfro last. Did Renfro? didn't
Harrison
win one.
Bader
No,
won.
no.
Did
But-
Harrison Bader?
Yeah,
Harrison
Harrison Bader
2
is
for
one of
5.
them. Okay, so Bader
Cardinals?
and Griffey Jr. Gosh, who else did we have on some 1-year deals? Like Puig. Did Puig win one?
He did not.
I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. I know Shebler didn't win one, but I think Duvall won one
Adam Duvall
with
3 for
Atlanta.
5.
With Atlanta. You might have to give me the next 2 because I don't know. if
Just
I'm
what
gonna be able
team are they on?
One of them is known for his Dodger days, I would say.
I don't know if I know. I'll tell you what. Give me. Okay, he's known for his Dodgers days.
Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp, 4 for 5.
Wow, Matt Kemp. See, like I forget he's a Red. Like he was on the Reds for like 2 weeks. And we got one more.
Last guy's known for his Cardinal days.
Oh, I know who that is. That's Jim Edmonds.
Correct.
Yeah.
Got it right.
That was not our best showing.
No.
But that's a tough one because, I read the question wrong and we kind of, we don't think about the fact that it's in Great American Ballpark and they didn't have to. I thought
Yeah, I was
playing
on the,
for
I was
the
on the
Reds.
wrong
And
track.
at first I'm like, there hasn't been a ton of outfield Gold Gloves. I mean, the recent Gold Gloves has been Tucker Barnhart, Brandon Phillips had a couple, Votto had one, I think, but not a ton out. I mean, we've had guys like Castellanos and Winker playing right and left field, so not a ton of defense out there. All right, so I think that is going to pretty much do it for this episode. What do you say, Matt Fry?
Well, we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for joining us. Check us out on YouTube and Spotify, as well as TikTok
And Twitter.
and Twitter. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.